Hello, welcome to the Revisionist Almanac, part of the Movie Archer podcast network. It's Heather here, and I am not alone. I am joined by 4 fellow Brits who are here to talk about the BAFTAs with me. We have Morgan from Hall of Film, we have Martin from FilmvFilm, and Carl and Simon from Movie the Needle. They'll be introducing themselves shortly, but before we get into the discussion about the BAFTAs, which may end up being fairly irreverent, I just want to kind of address the elephant in the room, which is the situation with John Davidson, with Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. We are not experts. We are not Black. We therefore are not going to address this in great detail. It was a very unfortunate situation. A lot has been said. Very unpleasant things have been said. There's been a lot of discourse out there. There's nothing I don't think we can add to the conversation at this time. And I would just say it's, in my opinion, the fault is with BAFTA and BBC, but everybody can read about what happened, watch it, whatever. We're not going to talk about it in great detail. And if anything, I just hope that this encourages people to educate themselves about Tourette's, and to go and watch I Swear, a fabulous film, which we will be talking about. I know Morgan has certainly seen it and is a big fan. So yeah, that's where we are. And I think a lot has been said. We're now recording this 3 days after the BAFTAs. So I think we're moving on, and obviously mistakes were made. Very unfortunate, but yeah, everybody go and watch I Swear. And yes, let's get into talking about the actual awards, the award season, everything else, what we thought of the show, what we thought of the dresses. I hope you all have comments on everybody's fashion choices. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. But first of all, introductions. Welcome, everybody. Maybe you could just quickly introduce yourselves one at a time. We have a big group here today, so I'm trying to manage the chaos. We'll start with Morgan. Morgan, maybe you can just quickly introduce yourself and your podcast and YouTube channel.
So hello, everybody. I am Morgan. I am the creator and the host of the Hall of Film YouTube channel and podcast. I was on before with Heather when we reacted to the BAFTA nominations, which was a great episode that everyone should check out. And this will not be the last time you hear from me as well on the Revisionist Almanac, because I am on the 2019 episode with Andrew coming up in the very near future.
Excellent. Martin?
Hello, I am the host of the FilmvFilm podcast. So we have a look at film releases, streaming releases, pick a subject from that particular film that month, and a guest comes to pick their film related to the subject. I pick one, and we talk about it in terms of directing, screenplay, acting. We give it all a little score and then see which film comes out on top. Heather, you were on a few months ago last year talking whodunit films. That was a lot of fun.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Of two films that didn't really have anything to do with whodunits, but they technically are. Starting a new kind of podcast series as well called My Film versus My Inspiration, where I bring in filmmakers as a guest and we talk about their new film and the film that inspired them. No scoring in that, obviously. That would be awkward. And we do spoiler specials as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I'm on all the socials and stuff, so check us out on Film versus Film podcast.
And Simon and Carl, I don't know if you want to share the mic and talk about yourselves or separately. Up to you.
Well, Simon and I have hit middle age and we can't be asked to start competing in triathlons. We won't just pick up the phone because we're blokes. So we've started a podcast, primarily in which we argue with each other about opposing tastes in particular films. But we've also got a format called Mash Flicks and Chill, which of course Heather, you've been on, Andrew's been on as well. And we generally just have a bit of a daft laugh, don't we say?
Have a beer, have a game, have a terribly sung song. It's all very relaxed.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for joining me and indulging me to talk about the BAFTA Awards, which are super important precursors and everybody cares about, clearly. So let's start this off briefly. I know there's quite a few cynical people on here, not that I want to point any fingers, but yeah, maybe kind of your thoughts on award shows in general, which I think we all know are really rather silly, awards, but we kind of love them. Awards, film awards, the BAFTAs, your general kind of relationship to that, if you even care, or if you're just humoring me by joining today. Who should we kick off with? Let's kick off with Martin.
Yeah, I always kind of enjoy them. I know they're kind of a bit of a nonsense, really, because they do tend to, ignore genre films, and they're certainly one of my favourite films to watch at the cinema for sure. And sci-fi and horror tend to get ignored, which is certainly getting better at the moment, certainly this year a little bit. But yeah, I don't stay up and watch the Oscars or anything. I'm not crazy. I certainly watch the highlight show. I always watch the BAFTAs as well. And obviously I only watched like half of the BAFTA show because I started it late, and I was like, I'll watch the rest at a later date when on iPlayer, and it's not there. They've pulled it.
Wonder
for various
why.
reasons. So I was like, great. It's going to be hard to prepare for this show. So yeah,
Sorry.
Scrambling around, looking at YouTube videos for some of the speeches. Yeah, it's always kind of interesting with the speeches, and I always kind of prefer the funnier ones. Than it was great to hear Paul Thomas Anderson when One Battle After Another won Best Picture. He was just like, what did he say? He said he wanted to the people that said films aren't good anymore, just piss off. That was great, I thought. Yeah, it's always great fun just like seeing who you want to win, and then thinking, oh, be it the person that actually won probably deserved it. It kind of doesn't really matter because they're all winners, I guess, being nominated in the first place. They always kind of say that.
It's loser talk.
Yeah.
Let's find out what team he supports here.
You don't want to know.
You see, there we go.
Yeah.
There's the theory.
It's always kind of cool just to see the discourse around who got snubbed and things. Yeah, it's always a bit of a giggle, really, isn't it?
Very silly. Yes. Okay, who wants to share their thoughts?
I'll jump in. So, generally, I like film awards, in their purest form. They give some attention to films you might not necessarily have sought out, and they provide some good discussion. There's literally a whole podcast built around it and the whole reason that we are here. So we can't really slag them off too much, can we? And just like the Winter Olympics, I can sit and I can watch them on TV, pretend I'm some sort of expert, and then judge people at the top of their game being shit. So, I like award ceremonies. They're fun.
I think they're shite.
There we go. We need this energy.
This is what you were
great.
waiting for, Heather.
This is what we need. Absolutely. This is what I expected.
Paul Thomas Anderson was talking directly to Carl as well, in terms of, for those people that say that films nowadays are shite.
Well, I didn't watch it, so I didn't see that. I do think that that's genuinely interesting that he takes aim at that sort of sentiment rather than studios and executives that are absolutely crushing the creative spirit. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. I sort of do think they matter. So to something, Martin, you said, I would love it if it were true that getting nominated, they're all winners. I would genuinely like that, because I think as a celebration of the art, award season is fantastic. But I really dislike the idea that they choose a winner and, depending on the particular body that's choosing it, I mean, I think you have to pay to be nominated for them all. But like the Golden Globes literally started as something that you had to pay for membership for. All of that nonsense. And it does matter. It does matter when somebody wins because it changes how that film gets seen and how it gets consumed. There's so many more people have set off to watch the list of all the Best Picture winners more than all of the Best Picture nominees. Like, that's not a thing, is it? People don't do that. But it does matter. So I love it as we can sit around and we can talk about it and celebrate the art and we can come up with our own personal favourites. That's interesting. I really hate the idea that some mostly nameless, faceless people in a room get to decree what's the best. And that ends up having a lasting impact.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah. To bounce off what Cole said, 'cause it is true. It not only changes how casual moviegoers kind of view actors, directors, and films, because you go, oh, they won the Oscar, so that must be good, or that must mean I should support them. But it does genuinely also just shape their careers, because if a director wins Best Director, they're going to have the world at their feet, and studios going, well, you've won an Oscar, so we'll just bow down to whatever you do. Whereas if you were nominated, they probably don't care, and they won't really, give you all the resources that you necessarily need to, complete the vision of the film that you've got. But also when it comes to the BAFTAs, I tend to kind of half watch depending on the nominations. If there ends up being like a good bunch of films like this year, of films that I really like and I just want to see win or potentially win, I'll definitely watch and keep an eye on the award season. Where if there's one where it's like there's two things I really like that I want to see win, I'll just watch highlights of stuff and I won't really keep up with it, because at the end of the day, it's all a self-loathing, pat yourself on the back kind of thing anyway. And ultimately, I feel like a lot of us movie fans decide on what ends up being a lasting thing, and oftentimes they're not even the things that win awards.
Yeah. I mean, I hate the fact that as a completionist, I need to go and watch certain films. And everybody's like, you don't have to. But I'm like, well, no, I do. I haven't seen F1 yet, but I hate the fact I have to go and see it. But
you're not missing much, to be honest.
To steal one from you, Heather, cars go vroom. That is it.
Exactly, cars go vroom, right? Yeah.
Me and Carl are on the opposite side of this. We saw it in an IMAX and very much taken along for the ride, as it were.
But that's the thing. Yeah, you're seeing it properly. I'm probably just watching it on a small screen. I'm doing my 1 week trial of Apple TV and watching F1 during that. But it's okay. It could have been worse, because if Avatar had been taken that 10th slot, then I'd have to have gone and watched the other two, because I've not seen a single Avatar film. So yes, but no, I agree. It makes you kind of you do watch things, but I do. What did Carl you were saying, like, why you do? I remember when I was like following it kind of like as a kid, and I wasn't watching everything that was in conversation or anything. And yeah, you just kind of like thought, oh, those were the best films, and those were the ones you watched. So I did try and watch like the nominees, but then there's so much more out there, but then you start getting more annoyed about the whole thing. So it is all very silly. It is all very silly. The BAFTAs in particular. So the BAFTAs, as we know, have got a little bit of a bad reputation, I think, and that's not really being helped this year for various reasons, as not always being the most diverse group.
They took,
like Denzel Washington famously.
They took 2 steps forward and jumped back 1,000.
What else about the BAFTAs? I mean, we're all British, and British people like to, criticize British things, but we can also be quite proud and defensive as well. So, I mean, it's not necessarily all bad at BAFTA. I mean, I think the fact that the BAFTA have the Rising Star every year that highlights, new talent that is voted for by the public. So not just these bunch of faceless bigwigs like in the audience. That is good. They've had the casting award longer than the Oscars, for example. They they have British film, which I know we all laugh about and kind of say, well, it's actually just, a makeup award for the film that's not going to win Best Picture. But it's not all bad. So I know, Morgan, you're particularly critical of the BAFTAs. So do you want to give your thoughts on awards in general and BAFTAs, and because I know you've got some thoughts because we talked about it a few weeks ago.
I just think that at the end of the day, a lot of the times I just feel like the main reason I don't care is just because of the idiotic decisions that we constantly like to make. And it's just always frustrating, I feel, with us. Like, we have a contradiction even this year, because we give Hamnet Best British Film, but then award something that was a nominee in Best British Film for Best Film, which I feel is the most us thing that we could have possibly done. I just do feel that we constantly make, not constantly, but a majority of the time, we tend not to ever make the correct decision with a lot of the things we do, whether it's not nominating people that the Oscars nominate or, stuff like that. But I think we've just kind of got a bad rap outside of obviously this year and this whole situation, just because of the stupid things we like to do and the situations and discourse we like to create, because at the end of the day, then everyone's talking about the BAFTAs, never usually because of good reasons or when it lasts longer than the ceremony. But I'd probably say that's my take overall on the BAFTAs.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole Denzel-shaped hole in it, isn't it? Which increasingly just looks almost
Denzel,
intentional.
Spike Lee, Sidney Poitier,
Exactly.
you can go on and on. Or, as I say, not nominating Lily Gladstone for Best Actress when she literally was in every other award ceremony, and it's like, we don't help ourselves at all. Simon mentioned, obviously, just a brief list of the amazing people of colour that have directed and acted in films that we've just gone, no, you're not worth a nomination or a win, so no. You can give one of the best performances of all time. We don't care.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have much of a relationship with BAFTA awards historically. There's something like I used to read about when they were, after the Oscars, and it was just almost like an afterthought. And I'd read it in the film magazines and just to find out who had won, but I didn't pay it too much attention as such. I think since they've started going before the Oscars, feels like it gives a little bit of a clue potentially, but then you see what comes out and actually you go, maybe not much of a clue at all, but at least the nominations give some sort of idea of where general feeling is lying on it.
We also like to make it feel grand and this like even bigger than the Oscars. Like we go, it's the most prestigious night in film, and it's like, no, it's not.
And the royal family are there. Yay. Yes, but wasn't there a year as well, was it 2020 or 2021, when every single winner was completely different to the Oscars, or all the nominees were not nominated for an Oscar, which is completely random stuff. Was I think when they introduced this weird jury pick thing where 3 were voted on, like 3 entries to the nominees
like that,
were voted by like the Academy, and then 3 were like jury saves, they called them. So yeah, that was
well. It's like, as I mentioned when I was talking as well, like what won Best British Film. There was a film that was in the nominations for that, and that ended up winning the Best Film, and not the thing that won Best British Film, which was an immediate contradiction to everything.
Has that? I need to look that up. But there has been overlap, hasn't there? Like British film, and then has won Best Picture. Because I remember last year when Conclave won Best Picture, I was like, oh, okay, then it's not winning Best Film, which surprised me. But then it did go and win Best Film as well. So it's like, okay, that's fine. This year, of course, it was clearly the kind of well done. Thanks for being here, prize for Hamlet. Although halfway through, I was wondering if I Swear wouldn't win that one.
Yeah, I had that sort of penciled in as a real potential winner. It being very British and important, and I thought they might go, "Oh, let's reward that." They did, just in a different way.
Yes. Yes, they did. Which tied in with the casting. So I remember when I Swear won this weekend, when I Swear won the casting award, and everybody's like, "This is weird. It's not going to have an acting award to go with it." And then, well, I mean, other than the Rising Star, which Robert Aramayo won, and then it did get a big acting award, which was one of the surprises of the night.
It's a good time to talk about this, I think. I think they awarded it in the right places, because I actually don't think it's a great movie. I didn't particularly enjoy it. I think Simon is in a similar space to me, but for slightly different reasons. But the acting, as particularly Aramayo, and actually a bit disappointed that Scott Ellis Watson has been looked over, because I thought he, as the young John Davison, was absolutely fantastic as well.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So casting and acting makes sense to me. The rest, I kind of think, I think they called that right, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely an incredible performance and very well deserved. I agree, it's not like an incredible film. It feels very biopic-y, and you have all of those sort of tropes in there that you would expect in a biopic. But yeah, I well deserved for both awards from David Aramayo. Just the way he can make those ticks feel incredibly natural, as well as bring through kind of all those emotions he's trying to portray throughout the movie, as well as adding the ticks in there, which it's definitely well deserved. I mean, even in the best actor category, there's a lot of great talent there, plus DiCaprio.
It was
Whoa!
Shots fired.
Here we go.
No, I do like DiCaprio.
Martin.
No, I do like him. It's just he gets nominated for every film he's fucking in, and it's just like, come on, give someone else a chance.
He's good in this one. In this one, he doesn't
is.
eat bison meat, and he doesn't go and sit inside a corpse. Like, what are we doing? I'd actually like him to win this year, because at least then it would add to the one that he actually won for, which he does get a bit of shit for. So, yeah, okay, fine. Hot takes there. For Timmy, then, did you?
I did actually. I really liked Mighty Supreme.
I actually seen it now. Yeah,
Fantastic.
He was good. I mean, that is what Amanda on here as well. She also said she was not a fan of Chalamet, but this one sold her. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. Went into it the other week, so when I was over in London last week, and he is genuinely good. And I'm sat there going, the best actor category, it's actually really pretty good this year. And actually, most acting nominees are good this year. And then there's one that I have not seen, to be fair, but it kind of sticks out a little bit like a sore thumb. But anyway, so that's a good segue to because we already started talking about like surprises and shocks and everything. Started off fairly, okay. All right, the first one was visual effects. We're going to move over that. That was not a surprise.
Not moving over
happened.
that. We
are moving over that because...
No.
Okay, we'll go on then.
Wrong. But annoyed. Why is Avatar still getting rewarded for putting the same film out again and again?
Because it's James Cameron. That's why it's James Cameron. It's a director win without being a director win.
It annoyed me. I was just like, no, anything but this.
I was
Any of the
happy
others
because
would have been fine.
on my predictions, I started off immediately 1-for-1. I was like, I saw that coming a mile off.
Yeah, that's I have a little like draft with my brother where we draft like we draft 3 films each, we draft 2 directors, we draft actors, actresses, and we have our little team at the start of award season, and we have like one wild card, and my wild card was Avatar and visual effects. So I am doing very well. I am very happy that it's winning. He really mucked up because I drafted first this year, and I drafted one battle after another, and I thought, right, he's going to go Sinners, and he picked Hamna, and I'm like, what? So he left Sinners for me. Like, oh, okay. So I'm winning that. But yes, no, I have Avatar winning visual effects, so I'm fine.
You'll have to bring that game to the podcast, Heather. I mean, that
Yes,
is,
yes.
I
We should
think-
expand it next year. Yeah.
I
feel
think
like-
Go on,
I feel,
sorry.
I feel like if Cameron didn't win that, he would have just had a word with BAFTA and would have been like, excuse me, what's going on?
Do you know who
I
I
can
am?
feel like that could happen as well. He's that proud of his visual effects, and if he's
I've only seen the first one, right?
I have.
Have the effects got any better? Because I think they're crap in Avatar.
I do as well.
Because as
I
soon
watched
as
the trailer, and I was
as soon as you put humans
They are
in
better.
the screen with them, they're right, okay. Because I was going to go on a whole thing about how F1 should have won and base it entirely on only seeing the first one, which is unfair, but I'm fine with it.
yeah. In its defense, like the second and third avatars, that element is much improved. But it's still, the third one is still the second one, is still the first one, just with slightly improved effects.
The only problem I have with Avatar is the first one, and the visual effects are the like main reason you'd probably go and watch it. The visual effects give me a headache every single time, and I'm not somebody who suffers from headaches, so that just says, I think, a lot about the film. But as soon as Avatar come out, I was like, okay, awards season, we'll know what's happening. I was like, right, you know what? Say to Cameron, look, we're not going to nominate you for anything else, but if we give you visual effects, will you please shut up and just, move on? I will take him winning visual effects over it being up for, like, him being up for best director, it being in one of the 10s for the best film. I'd rather him just have that. It's fine. It's on his mantle. And we can move on with our lives until the next Avatar, and then the next Avatar, and then the next Avatar, then Titanic 2.
But Titanic 2. I wonder what will happen there. Yeah, the boat doesn't have to go down. But are you not excited of the fact that he's got, for all eventualities, if he doesn't get to make 4 and 5, or he dies or whatever before, he's got a contingency plan that we all know what's going to happen in 4 or 5. Yes.
I don't
I'm
care
excited.
enough to,
I've given up caring.
Yeah. I think
I don't
my
think I
thing
ever
is,
did.
I think my thing is as well with Cameron. He was on a generational run of so many good films, and then he left for 9 years to do this vanity project, and then that's all he's going to do now with the rest of his career. So you look at it and you split it like pre Avatar and post Avatar. You're like, why the hell did you chuck your career away? It feels like in the long run.
Yeah,
Do
but
you think
some
if
of
we
the
give
times
him
it's
the
going
awards for 4 and 5 now, maybe he won't make them?
Yes,
He'll just
yes,
go away.
yeah,
Get him back.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to posthumously gets them before he's even made them. It's
You're
just
really trying to
very-
kill him off, Heather. Can you stop?
I'm not. Too many great people have died already this year. Actually, it's been a very bad year, I think, obviously not just this year, but the last 12 months for celebrities. So no,
And
I'm not.
speaking of that, Heather, I really enjoy the wrong word. I do really appreciate that part of the award ceremonies where they have like the who has passed away this year with a nice song overgoing. Like, it's one of my favourite parts. Again,
Yes.
making me sound weird, but like it's
No,
the
I
part
agree.
that I appreciate the most out of the ceremony.
My brother. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I really like that, in memoriam section as well. But it's frustrating though sometimes because some actors get like a video clip and then some people just get a picture. And then when I saw Rob Reiner and Robert Duvall just have a picture, I was like, really? Robert Duvall in
the
particular
Duvall one, I
just,
was going to say.
just has a picture? You could literally have just shown a little clip of him in Apocalypse Now.
I feel like
And,
they'd already
yeah.
prepared that, and then it was just like, oh crap! Can we be asked to
Yeah.
change the whole edit for this? We'll just stick a picture.
Because
on
somebody's
because,
just recently died. I have this. No, so I agree. This is going to sound really macabre. I have regularly with my brother, whenever anybody famous dies, we're going, right, next one for the dead list, because it's called the dead list in our chat, and that's what we refer to it as. And then we have a discussion about who we think is going to be first, the premium position as the first one to be put up, and who is going to close the dead list. And then, of course, if somebody dies like just like 1 or 2 days before the Oscars, you're like, oh shit, they're going to have to redo the video, or are they? Because if it's a big one, and then but are they? And are they going to finish that? So I'm Simon, totally there.
I likewise enjoy. Well, we all know what we mean. I enjoy the in memoriam, with the one caveat of you don't forget any names like some in past years they have done, where it's like not a little name either, where it's like, wow, you missed those. If you do it correctly and you include like everyone that you should, it's always really a nice and touching thing.
But I read when there was once outcry about that often the families or something were asked or something, like if they wanted this person to be included. I couldn't really believe that, but it is. And somebody said, oh no, because there was outcry about somebody quite major who got left off, and I think they said, oh no, we asked to, and they said, no, please don't include it. And I was like, okay, that sounds weird, but I don't know whether that's true. But surely that's something you could easily dispute if the family say, well, actually, that's not true. So I don't know. But I do question it, because sometimes it is major ones, or if they're musical people or something, and they say, oh, well, they were kind of, ticked off by the Grammys or something. Like, so? Like, what? But, I didn't watch it, because I didn't watch the highlights, ceremony highlights, so I didn't see who sang it this year.
Jessie Ware.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the second game that you've mentioned here, Heather, that I might steal for podcast.
There you go.
You've got the dead list as well. You've got the movie draft for the head of awards.
Yes,
this is great.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes, I have many, and now you've got your predictions this year as well that you're asking us to send in. So yes, I am put copyright on all these things. Right, okay, so moving on to visual effects, which I did not expect to spend so much time on, but clearly it hit a nerve. Wonderful. I actually wanted to start celebrating the wonderful Wunmi Masaka. It was wonderful. I was so excited. I have in a text chat, like a WhatsApp group with my family. I have from the 22nd of January. I wrote, so it's black and white. I said, I think Wunmi could win the BAFTA, because film, clearly very popular, lots of nominations, and she's British. This, I know we laugh and take, but come on, there is a slight favoritism, I do think, sometimes.
I think there's more than slight.
I was about to say, it's way more. It's way more.
I was like, oh, weighing up, okay, right, well, the BAFTA's not necessarily always being known for celebrating Black creatives and talent, but on the other hand, she's British, and she is a previous winner for TV, I think. She's won before, so that was wonderful. That made me very, very happy. That was one of my highlights.
On my predictions, I didn't even consider anybody else. That's how certain I was. I was like, yeah, British in Sinners, which is uber popular. They loved it. She's winning that, and I mean, it's well deserved, because she's fantastic in that film as well.
Yeah, she is great.
I think Martin, you were saying something?
Yeah, definitely well deserved. I mean, I really like Sinners. I think she's arguably one of the best things in it as well, if not the best thing in Sinners. Michael B. Jordan is great, obviously, as well, doing 2 roles. But moving aside from, if you're changing your focus when you're watching it from Michael B. Jordan, your next point of call is Wunmi Masaka, for sure. She brings so much heart to the film, and yeah, and in that kind of the second half of the movie, she really comes into her own with the emotional stuff, and just those last scenes. I don't want to go into spoiler territory too much, but yeah, it really gets you, just the looks she gives Jordan at the end, and yeah, she's just really, really good, and she's definitely the one character in that film that just feels very authentic, even though her character per se is sort of a witch doctor type person. I don't know what the actual term for it is, but she just made it feel very believable. Yeah, she's great.
She feels pure. She just feels like the purest kind of character.
Yeah, and she's the first one to say they're vampires. Yeah. No, she's the heart. She really is the heart of that film. And I think my slight preference was for Inga Ipsdotter Elias from Sentimental Value, but very close second was Winmy. And for me, those two are like my two favorite performances across all categories this year. It's just a shame they're in the same one, right? So, but they're both the absolute heart of their movies. And I think that's what really makes a difference. And to me, those are the two performances that I remember from both those films, Sentimental Value and from Sinners.
For sheer acting chops, I would agree, actually. I think I would have gone with Inga. But I completely agree with everything that's been said about Sinners and Wunmi in particular in that movie. So no complaints at all. Just on the British thing, did you see when the nominees were announced that the BBC tried to claim Delroy Lindo?
Well, he was born in Britain.
Well, he was. But he's repeatedly gone on record as to say and given interviews about how his career was made and forged in the US, and in particular wouldn't have taken off had he stayed in the UK because the industry just...
It's very Lennox Lewis. So when he went to Canada, and then we were like, no, he's West Ham. He's here.
Yeah.
I just have to correct you, Carl, as well. You pronounced his name wrong. It's Delroy fucking Lindo.
Yes,
that's how you have to pronounce it.
Right. Indeed.
Yeah, no, he's made that very clear, and I think he did it again on the red carpet at the BAFTAs where he was asked, and he was like,
and again, it's funny.
American.
Yeah, we're full circle. We're talking about the BAFTAs and their blind spots, and then like obviously it was the BBC and not the BAFTAs, but again, just any excuse to put your foot in it and go, oh, British guy. It's like, no, actually, he's very much against that sort of characterisation. Thank you.
Well, it's the most British thing. When you're good and potentially could win, you're one of ours. As soon as you lose, we don't care.
Didn't we make that thing about Andy Murray as well?
Yes, he was British
said that, didn't we?
when he won Wimbledon, and then as soon as he did, he's Scottish. Yeah.
We don't care. We'll have him all the time. Actually, but that's. I mean, I was born in England. I don't say I'm English though. I'll tell. It's okay. I'll accept British, but I'm not. I was. I was born in.
Well, win something, Heather, then you'll be English.
So German, Heather. So German.
My most pleased.
Been here longer than I lived in the UK now. So, but I do have dual nationality, but that's purely for Brexit reasons.
So I think similar sort of theme for my most pleased, apart from F1 winning for sound, is that Sinners got something in kind of each little area. So it got a win in the acting, it got something for Coogler, and it got score as well. And I think score in particular, really pleased that it won that, and really pleased that Coogler got something that was his as well, because I think he deserved it. I
am so happy it won something other than score though, Simon, because can you imagine if the one win for Sinners was the white Swedish guy?
Yes.
And not only that,
God.
Let's not forget what happened before, where they won and then they put it in the ads, where if they'd have won only best score, that wasn't in the live shown one either, so it would have been a repeat of that, where it's like, oh Jesus Christ, like, so the BAFTAs could have done a really BAFTA thing.
Coogler's acceptance speech for that award
that was wonderful.
That they showed was very good though.
Wonderful.
He was good for that. I could listen to that man all day, to be fair. I just love listening to Coogler talk.
I always find it so funny that he comes across as such like a nervous speaker though as well.
Yeah.
Like he always
it's
just
so
seems
authentic.
Yes,
yeah.
He's like the most likable, I think, guy in the room. Like he you just want to root for him, even if you don't want necessarily him to like win Best Director. You're like, I kind of want you to now after you hear him talk.
Well, at least he got the chance with the screenplay as well, and then did the funny speech, but from Göransson for the score. Yeah, but no, he is. I completely agree. He's wonderful. He's not like the most. He's just relatable, I think, to some, people who are not necessarily so eloquent, but they're trying to say good stuff, but it just doesn't always come out as eloquently as some other people. And quite frankly, he comes across authentically because what he's saying is good and it's meaningful and it's important. And the fact that the delivery isn't always perfect, I think just makes him so much more endearing. Yeah, I completely agree. Have you watched him in the Good Hang with Amy Poehler? podcast. He was on that, and that was delightful. Oh yeah, you should. That's so good.
I think he maybe shot his load a bit early there with his first acceptance speech. Because I was about like, you might be getting some more here, mate. Just
he probably didn't
chill your
expect
boots.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. So Sinners, all good. Best supporting actor. Well,
that was a shock. That was one of my big. That was mainly because I was like, oh, after the most recent one, I was like, oh, it kind of feels like now Stellan's on the roll. You know, a lot more people have seen the film, know the performance. They're like, yeah, you know, he's going to win. Well, apparently no, because I think the supporting roles are the most open and exciting thing about this whole Oscar award race, because I don't think anybody knows kind of where to. It's just kind of like throwing a dartboard, seeing where it lands, and go, yeah, it's your turn to get your award. And that does actually kind of touch into one thing that I kind of think that I didn't touch upon on my overall kind of view on this award season. When it's such a stacked year, like I think we can all agree this year is really, it's not like there's two films that are clear and obvious front runners of way better quality than anything else. Like, there are a lot of quality performances and films. I always kind of feel it kind of kills it for me when there's not like a fair share of people winning. Like when the sweeps like Buckley, and it's a phenomenal performance. The other women in the Best Actress race are all deservingly, and I think any other year stand a really good chance of winning Best Actress, but they're not going to get a single chance of getting their flowers because we're sweeping, when I feel like unless it was a overly all-time great performance or a weak year, sweeps shouldn't really happen as often as they kind of do now, because like Rose Byrne deserves her flowers, and she's the only one who's got it because of how they split the awards. But like for Renat, who is phenomenal, she's going to get nothing, and so many other people as well are, because PTA sweeping or Buckley sweeping, or potentially now even like One Battle sweeping, when there could have been another chance to award some other films.
I think it's interesting what you say there, Morgan, about it being stacked generally. I think when I was looking at sort of the films that are all nominated, what struck me was like there's not that big front runner that's going to win everything and sweep everything up. But there's also it's not chock full of ones that I was completely blown away by. There's just like the good to very good. There's a lot of good to very good stuff, but there's very few ones I was like, that's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
There's
like
just
Hamnet is a very good film. Am I sat here like that is an all-time performance now where it's like that deserves a full sweep? Not necessarily, because I also think Renat in Sentimental Value, which is equally a very, very good film, and that is a great performance as well. I feel like there's a lot of level footing, but it's just kind of things are just getting favouritism for one reason or another.
But I think supporting actor is probably one of those that will, as you say, get shared around a little bit more, because there's not.
I
wouldn't be surprised if Delroy wins. Like, it depends how like the reaction in America is after the fallout of all this as well.
Yeah, that is So I think Martin was also great thoughts on Sean Penn, but I do want to come back to what you said there, Martin. You were going to say something about Sean.
I think it was definitely a surprise. It was certainly very the most wide open acting category before we knew the results. I mean, all of them I think are very deserved, but I did like Jacob Elordi as the creature in Frankenstein. I think you don't often get those type of performances nominated for awards like this. Very physical performances like that. But yeah, Sean Penn, I think he is pretty phenomenal in it. I think just that kind of internal bubbling rage that he has in this while trying to desperately keep his cool and failing miserably throughout the movie. So I mean, you could have given it to any of them, to be honest.
Yeah. I think the thing about Sean Penn is, I remember when people were starting to see One Battle And they came out of that and they said, Sean Penn is the standout. He is going to win another Oscar. And that was what everybody was saying. They were like, okay, supporting actor is done. And then the critics started like doing their awards because they do them before the industry. And they were all like awarding Benicio del Toro, and everybody was really confused. They were like, well, he's great and we really like him because it's Benicio, and the character he's playing is a lovely guy, and everybody remembers the one, a few small beers and all this kind of like stuff. And he had the memes and his little dance, and then Sean Penn was just like, the villain and very over the top. And then Benicio was winning all of that, and it was like, oh, maybe the tides changed. And then, Lordy won the first televised award, which has no overlap with these Academy Industry Awards, which we need to remember, I think, because Lordy won that one, and then Skarsgård won the Golden Globe. So I think people were thinking, oh, it's European, so this is the place for Stellan to win, or maybe Mescal or something. And then I have to say, I had Sean Penn for BAFTA. I had Sean Penn right near the bottom, and I don't know why, but I just thought it doesn't feel like something that BAFTA would necessarily go for. I thought, well, he might win SAG, and then everybody might have one, or maybe Stellan's got like two, but we still don't know going into Oscar. But part of me thinks, well, if Sean Penn has won BAFTA, I already saw him maybe winning SAG. I don't know. But
the tide changed at the right time for him.
I think we could know who's winning supporting actor going into Oscars, because if SAG goes with Sean Penn,
if he wins SAG, it's a lock. I think. Yeah.
No. Which would
with
be
the
a
acting
shame.
categories going through like the the SAG awards and stuff, they're usually pretty locked, I think, before Oscars. That's what's kind of disappointing for me watching the Oscars, because certainly with the acting, you kind of already know who's winning.
That's why the supporting race is actually really fun, because we kind of still don't. Whereas the main acting, we're more like, yeah.
Depends what happens at SAG. Yeah, Buckley's like a lock. That's done. But to go back, actually, Warren, to what you said, and we'll touch on this now, is you said, do you think that what happened, which we're not going to really talk about because we've, briefly touched on it, everybody knows what happened, but do we think what happened with Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, and the discourse and all this kind of outrage, do we think that is going to affect their chances at SAG, at Oscar? Well, Delroy Lindo is not nominated for SAG, but the cast is, etc. SAG, and then ultimately Oscar. And I think I asked the same question on Discord channel like a couple of days ago. People were thinking, no, not so much. They thought actually it might have more of an influence on I Swear maybe next year, which, by the way, for listeners, it was at BAFTAs this year, but it wasn't eligible for Oscars this year because it hasn't been released in the US yet. So it will have an Oscars run next year. Let's see.
Which, by the way, is fucking stupid.
It's completely
yes.
stupid. Of course, it's stupid. This whole split season, we haven't had this for a long time, I feel, actually. It used to be a thing much more like in the sort of the 70s and 80s, because I've been doing revisionist almanac prep for 1977, and it's been breaking my brain trying to figure out what actually qualified for the Oscars and what was recognised in other award shows. The foreign film's been driving me crazy. But yes, so that is a good discussion point that we should that you can talk about. Do we think that is going to have any influence on the success of either of those two actors or the film for the Oscars?
I think for Best Actor especially, depending on who wins it at SAG, it very much could, because if Chalamet, say, doesn't win at SAG and somebody else does, and then on top of us not awarding, I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of awarded Aramea with the British tax on top of it being a great performance. But also with all this discourse, that could come at a kind of right time as a perfect storm for, potentially leapfrogging Timmy for that. But as I say, I think if Timmy wins Best Actor at SAG, it's probably a lock, unless the Academy are suddenly going to be, edgy and cool and then going to go against the grain for once, maybe. But and then as for Delroy, very much it could be, because how wide open the supporting, as we've just touched upon. He might have walked away a winner anyway, but this situation, might change some more minds. I just don't know. And, we are talking about people who didn't know that Ray Fiennes hadn't won an Oscar. So I think the the decisions they can make, this could very much influence some.
It's difficult, isn't it? We'll never know, obviously.
Anyone else thoughts on that?
I should say, don't mention Ray Fiennes when Heather's on the call. Jesus Christ.
Trigger, this is where I put myself on mute. Do not get me started on the anonymous ballots from last year. No. Trigger.
Just on the on the Sinners thing and Delroy Lindo and whatnot, it's difficult. We'll never know because Sinners is pretty well placed anyway to do quite well. But it sort of does feed into a larger problem I have with the acting awards. I mean, maybe Best Actor is immune from this, but certainly the supporting actor and actresses, they feel a little bit like consolation prizes to me. They feel a little bit like, oh, we maybe are not going to give this film the Best Picture nod or the Best Director nod, but we can just throw them a prominent actor award and kind of sort of reward it that way. Because I think when people talk about their favourites too often, they end up talking about the character and the film.
Yes, I am guilty of that, though. I know I'm guilty of that.
And Simon was laughing earlier, and I can't not say this because I am really, really mixed on one battle after another. I think large parts of it are silly. It isn't until the film settles down with Leo and Del Toro I go, oh yeah, this is a bit of me. I really enjoy this, and of course we've got some stunning filmography. I could say I think Sean Penn is the worst bit about One Battle After Another. So I think he was neither scary nor funny. For me, he was just beyond the pale. But people absolutely loved his character.
I thought he was very much a caricature.
I think
absolutely loved it.
He trod the line. He trod that line just perfectly, I thought.
Sure, I get that, and that's the taste of it. But to bring it round to the point I'm making, the character makes such a splash that then people go off and go, "Oh, wasn't Sean Penn brilliant?" And I look at the best actor list, and I go, best supporting actor list, and I go, the best person isn't even on there. And again, it's young John Davidson. It's Scott. What's his name? I said it earlier, but I forgot.
Earlier, yeah.
Hang on. So yeah, I don't know. That's the interesting thing about the actor nods, and in particular the supporting actor nods for me. I think we often forget they're supposed to be about acting, and we talk about them too much in the context of the film.
Jumping in and interrupting on that as well, I also feel like the category manipulation they do on that as well is also a way to go, okay, we all know you're the lead, but not enough to be in the actual lead, so we'll just give you this. Like Kieran Culkin, they were like, he's the lead.
Last year.
Yeah, but it was like, we can't fit you in the best actor, so we're just going to give you this. Or
they deliberately push because they know there's better chance in the other category. The studios tell them to go in a particular, which is why I think it's actually kind of cool that Lily Gladstone was the one that actually said, I am going lead. Although I think the studio would possibly have pushed her supporting when she could have won. But I know that it was her who was very adamant that's what she wanted to do. So, last year was ridiculous. At least this year, I have the feeling that, okay, there's been people arguing about Elordi because they're like, well, half of the film is from his point of view. And there's been people saying, what was the other one? Like Paul Mescal, they're saying that's kind of also like a co-lead. But I don't know. I think you very much do focus on he's off doing his London stuff for a while and leaving poor Agnes to deal with all this shit. So
you could argue that Skarsgård is a very major part of that film and could be the one that would be the lead.
Him and Elordi are the ones that I could make a case for. And I did when I first saw Sentimental Value, I did come out of that and say, I'm very confused. Wait a minute, hang on. I assumed Skarsgård was like the co-lead with Renate. And then it was like, no, he's been going to be pushed in supporting. I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, yes, okay. I mean, both of them have moments where it's all focusing on them. So it's like we need to ask our expert on this, Thomas Duncan from Gmote podcast. He has a very specific list of criteria when he's saying is somebody supporting or not. So he's, I think he's got his list somewhere. But I think it's also it's like what you remember from the film, and Sean Penn is very memorable from the film, but I don't know.
The walk alone.
He was over the top.
The walk alone was warranting of praise. You know, it's anytime somebody goes that far deep into like doing things that it's like that's probably not in the script to go, oh yeah, hey, he's got this funky walk. It might be, but I always like it when actors put their own like little spins on stuff. Like even the way he combs his hair is great.
It's kind of disgusting. Well, okay, good. Sean Pale, what else have we got to talk about? What else was? Oh, the small matter of acting. Let's go on. Well, we'll continue with the acting. We'll continue with the actors. And Jessie Buckley, sweep. Yeah. If she didn't win BAFTA, that would have been the biggest shock ever, I think. And I think
it was the most predictable one of the night.
It was so predictable.
Yeah.
So predictable. I mean, she's great. Do I prefer Renata? Do I prefer Rose Byrne? Yes. It's fine. Well, whatever. It's a very obvious acting win to me, but okay, whatever. Hamnet was not my film, so because I'm heartless and cold and a bitch, as I've been told. So
I don't think it was a great film. Buckley is fantastic in it. I would have gone Byrne or Renate. I think I would have tipped to Renate. I think she's, again, talking about pure acting chops, I think she's absolutely masterful in that. She really holds the screen.
yeah. Any more thoughts on actress? Because this is just a done deal.
I was going to say it's just a done deal. It's, you know, it's a great performance, and I mean, for the amount of crying that woman had to do for that film alone, she deserves some kind of award. So, a sweep for crying. Yeah.
My throat hurt. My throat hurt just from that one scream she issues. I'm like, oh god.
That was one of those moments where you're like, oh yeah, I am watching acting, because it's like that was like elevated acting where you're like, oh Jesus Christ, like I don't know how you get on the headspace to do a scream like that.
Well, it was improvised as well. I read that it wasn't part of the thing. It's just how she wanted to react.
She is a chameleon, because like then she's got the bride coming out, and I watched the half watched the trailer, didn't even click that it was her as the bride, and then I saw the credits. I went, oh Jesus Christ, yeah. So, you know, just going from Hamnet to the Bride of Frankenstein in a very short space.
It's interesting that Emma Stone continues to get nominated for awards. I quite liked Bugnoia, but I mean, does she need to be nominated again? I mean, I don't think she does anything like especially special in that film to be warranted.
She's now in her Streep era.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, right? I mean, it's just like tick it off.
Yeah. I'm here for this. More Emma Stone slander.
I'll hear none of it.
How's that going over, Simon?
I will hear none of it. The goddess, leave her alone.
Chase Infinity was right there. Jennifer Lawrence was right there.
Yeah.
I don't know, that Jennifer Lawrence performance. I don't know if they were going to touch that, anybody, but they were all, I don't know. It's just another really good year. And yeah, but Emma Stone feels, she doesn't need it. I don't even think she necessarily wanted it. I think she was massively campaigning. And I mean, remember when she won for Poor Things and she was like, "Oh shit!" You could tell that she.
I'm still not over that not being Lily Gladstone's Oscar.
Oh yeah.
Because man, she's just in the Streep era. She's it's going to be looked back upon where this is like dubbed as her stealing nominations, and I mean, at the end of the day, it is kind of true because. Is she good in Begonia? Yes. Is she better than Chase Infinity and Jennifer Lawrence? No.
But who was it earlier who was slagging off Leo? Who was it? Like, do we take both Emma Stone and, okay, we'll add Leo to this, do we take them for granted? Are they not just like always good? So it's like, oh, well, you know, we're taking them for granted. Of course they're good in this. So do they need another nomination? Which, you know, kind of is how we end up with Leo winning for The Revenant and everybody slagging off, because it's absolutely not his best performance ever. But it was the one where it was like, well, the competition just wasn't necessarily there. So, yeah,
it does stink of like this prestige thing. They the BAFTA want to be seen as like nominating like the big stars kind of thing, and yeah, I think you're right, Morgan. It does feel very much like, you know, the Meryl Streep thing with Leo as well, and yeah, I think he is really good in the film, but I just feel like there's probably other actors that are more deserving. But yeah,
Jesse Plemons.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's weird almost. I almost feel like when you get to the point now that Emma Stone and Leo are in, where, you know, people are moaning that you're getting award nominations, that is how you know now you are reaching like all-time great kind of club. Because, you know, like, I'm sure like Pacino and De Niro had it where it's like, oh my God, these guys again, like every single time they do something, they're nominated. But it's like, you look back and like, yeah, because they are so good and on just a consistent basis, they don't drop below a certain bar, which is usually, you know, at least at their worst, they're back end award nominees.
Well, I think it ties back into what I was saying earlier, is that sometimes these awards feel less about acting and how big and the film is and how big of a splash it's made. And then these guys that we're talking about are more predisposed to be in those films because studios love them, they're bankable. And so we fall into this trap every time. I actually have less of a problem with Leo getting nominated these days because I think he's a much better actor these days and he's turning in better acting performances than perhaps some of his earlier stuff. But yeah, I do think there's definitely something in that it's almost inevitable because these guys, regardless of their actual acting in a particular movie, they just become darlings of the studios, of the awards bodies, and, you know, they will just hang around.
Yeah.
So
till they die, right, Heather?
Yeah.
Yes, and then
Until Heather gets to put them on our death list.
And I get to put them on the death list. God.
I mean, the Streep comparison is a perfect
hard-hearted
one.
bitch here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Carl, as well. I feel like when you get all the nominations for Best Picture, then it just feels like obligatory sometimes. Okay, let's have a look at all the actors in these films and nominate them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you do. I mean, when you're looking at, you know, slated films that are coming up like every year, and you say, "Oh, what's the big ones coming out?" And of course, you know, you're looking to your, well, I'm not alone here, but I'm looking to, like, you know, you're looking to your Nolans, you're looking to your Spielbergs, you're looking to Fincher. Well, I don't know about if I'm excited for the Fincher this year, but anyway, Denis Villeneuve, exactly. All of them, they're the ones that if they've got a film coming out, you're gonna, you know, somebody like me, I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, that's kind of penciled in, because like you've got your directors that even before anything is announced about cast or everything, you're like, well, I'm gonna go and see it because it's the latest Nolan film. And then of course Nolan is able to get, and they all are able to get, these incredible actors, and you're like, oh, okay, well, Leo finally tying up with Paul Thomas Anderson, perfect. And you know, the announcement yesterday that Bale and DiCaprio are both confirmed for Heat 2 and that kind of thing. I mean, like,
I don't want that to happen though.
I'm sat already, you know. So but yeah, so it's kind of like something like a Rose Byrne, to get back like to acting. I mean, she's my favorite in that category, and I mean, it's been great that the critics got so behind her, because I think if they hadn't, that film would just have, I mean, she did win the top prize for acting at the Berlinale Festival last year. So she did have something, but that's never enough. That's never going to be enough. And the critics got really behind her and pushed and pushed and pushed, and she was winning so many awards and getting all this recognition. And that's what ultimately got her to the Oscar nomination. Because let's be real, that film would otherwise probably have just like gone away and would that performance would have been, one for the Revisionist Almanac 2025. Whoever it comes out, right?
I think it would have been what Die My Love is, where it's kind of like it missed and nobody's talking about it, and then you think about it, it's two great performances as well that have just got lost in the shuffle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And also, before I forget to mention, we also did, of course, have 2 records broken at the BAFTAs, where we had Ryan Coogler, which it was the most awarded film by a black director, and then we also had the unfortunate record of Mighty Supreme being the tied most losing film in BAFTA history, which that kind of happening as well. And as I say, we'll see what happened at SAG. It feels like if it doesn't necessarily win big at SAG, the tides might be changing on that at the wrong time as well for it.
I think that feeds into one of my favourite moments of the night, which is just Timothy smiling through his pain when Robert Aramayo got the award, and Leo going, "Why did I come here? What's
and then you had Ethan Hawke being like a proud dad looking at Robert Aramayo.
This is better than winning.
He was so wholesome. It was like, that's how you lose, gentlemen.
That's how you lose. Yeah.
You see, Timothy now is getting the early stage Leo nods that we're all going to become tired of very soon. I have to say I was delighted Robert Aramayo when I didn't think he was going to, because I did really enjoy Marty Supreme, and I think Chalamet is very good in it, but I think he's much more akin to the movie star than he is an actual great actor. And I think the distance between Aramayo and Chalamet in terms of acting is vast. So I was delighted that he got that nod. And it'll be really interesting to see how that does change things going forward or not. But
well, it's funny you saying that. I'm glad you said it, because I'm afraid of the Chalamet fans to say that, where it's like, it does feel like he's gone from rising, actor, where it's like, oh, this guy's going to win many awards, and then all of a sudden, a couple movie decisions he's now swapped into movie star territory.
Totally.
But that's why, like, in probably I've still not seen The Secret Agent, but in my power rankings, I actually have Timmy second to last, mainly because the other ones I'm like, they're acting at a high level, and it kind of the main thing as well with me with Mighty Supreme and Chalamet is the campaigning. It's worked for some. It's turned me off for me, because his fans are acting like he's overdue. He's 30. He's been nominated twice. That is not overdue. You want to talk overdue? Talk to Al Pacino,
or Ethan Hawke.
Or Ethan Hawke.
It's literally in the category with him.
That is overdue. What Chalamet's got is he's got fangirls and fanboys who are greatly over, putting him on the pedestal early.
Yeah, because historically, like, no one has won an Oscar before they're 30. Is that right? I believe so. So what are they on about?
I think he become the youngest one? Oh no, he would have
won
last
year.
Wouldn't he?
But
that
Brody, he would have
right.
done. But ironically, it was Brody who had the record.
That's right. Yeah,
the record. Yeah, but but still, he'd be the second youngest male, because women they have no problem awarding young women.
Yeah. Overdue. I mean, Overdue is like. By the way, I should say I don't think he's a bad actor either. He's just not great, right? Overdue in terms of what, like the amount of big movies he's been in. It shouldn't work like that. Which performance should have been awarded but hasn't? Because I don't think it has been one.
Yes.
People always go to the 2 that he was nominated, which was Call Me by Your Name, which I hate that film. I hate it with a passion. It's just it's uncomfortable. He's a good performance in it, but it's uncomfortable.
I like the film. He's not the best actor in it.
I agree. And then as for the Dylan biopic,
fan, are we?
As the Dylan biopic, what the hell were we doing with that anyway? Like, it shouldn't have been anywhere near an Oscar nomination.
No,
it's just
totally.
That's why I was surprised Jeremy Allen White didn't get in all the Rock this year, because biopics.
Yeah, but he's not a movie star like Timothy Chalamet, is he?
Exactly. No, they don't move the needle like Timmy.
And he's made. You talk about the marketing campaign as well. He's made no secret of his desire to achieve, and in his mind, that is awards and things. It's like, well, have you considered just being a better actor? To me, maybe that might work. I don't know. It's a crazy idea.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We need to, when we post this video and podcast, we need to tag Club Chalamet and she will be on your case. It's like whenever, oh God, Andrew was not so high on Secret Agent. I said, right, we're going to turn on the Brazilians. We're going to tweet all the Brazilians and get them.
I also feel kind of like I guess the horrible person deep in my soul, because of how much he wants this, makes me kind of want him not to get it.
Yeah, it was that whole like pursuit of greatness speech that really didn't go down well.
And not only that, I don't know whether you all saw like the recent like interview thing he did with McConaughey. Like even how they're kind of shifting his origins into this great actor, it's come from Interstellar. It didn't come from kind of like the like Little Women and all the other like period piece stuff and like growing into a role. It's like, oh no, this all started from Interstellar, and it's like that's nonsense. Like it didn't.
It's barely in that movie.
They're
1 minute in it.
They're trying to rewrite it for the film bros as well, where they go, oh yeah, let's get Timmy this Oscar. Like all it is like this big like conspiracy at this point.
This is all good stuff, guys.
That's why I dread to think the reaction come after the Oscars the morning after if Leonardo DiCaprio wins it and is the one to stop Timmy, because World War III is breaking out.
I think it could be worse. I think it depends. I'm trying to think what would be the worst, because I do like Twitter discourse, except I don't really. But what would be the worst situation for the Chalamet lot? Is it if Leo wins? I don't even think it is. Because I think they kind of see Chalamet sort of the successor to Leo. I think it's if Ethan Hawke wins, because young Chalamet fans have no clue who Ethan Hawke is, probably. They don't know, they've never heard of this film, because it is probably the smallest film of the lot. Well, okay, The Secret Agent, but that obviously has a whole Brazilian nation behind it. So I think potentially for the Chalamet, and I'm very specific Chalamet fans, like, the kind of the fangirls, the ones who've only seen his films, they haven't seen anything else. I think it could be Ethan Hawke, the one. If he wins, that could be for them, because they won't understand it. They'll be like, nobody saw that film. Nobody knows who he is. He's just an old man.
I just think no matter who wins, if it's not Timmy, they're going to be annoyed at this point.
Well, they were last year anyway, weren't they?
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Well, would Timmy have done a 5-minute speech? I don't know.
Probably.
Who knows?
We all just want to see his face when he loses, don't we?
Yes.
Well, no, actually, secretly, we all want him to do a spontaneous marriage proposal to Kylie Jenner. That's what we all want to see if he wins the Oscar. Really. That's what I'm there for.
No, I want him to finally win it because he's overdue, then do a longer speech than Adrian Brody.
That would be great. And then everybody will hate him.
That's what we deserve.
The overdue is, who is it? They say this about a lot of people when they win.
Everybody's
overdue.
overdue.
What would you have given it to? What would you have awarded them for? It's like when frickin' Sandra Bullock won. Why was she overdue? Literally tell me why Sandra Bullock was overdue for an Oscar. Why? What has she done that she should have been nominated ever for? Oh, okay, I'm just going to go off on one about Blindside because I think it's just awful. Anyway, we have some great content, guys, about hating Timmy Chalamet and hating Leonardo DiCaprio. This is wonderful.
I had no part in that.
I fear that.
Yeah, exactly, Simon. You were very quiet.
I fear that in my podcasting career, that is very young, not even a year old, I'm just going to get the reputation of being a Timothy Chalamet hater and a biopic hater, and only one of those is true, and I will let the public decide which one is which.
Because biopics and biopics, as we discussed. The I Swear biopic is a good example. That is important. That is educational.
Exactly. It's about a normal person and telling a story that is incredible that everybody should know, not some vain pat on the back to a celebrity that doesn't need any more pats on the back.
Yes, exactly. Right. Okay. Are we any more hot takes on actor? Anything else? Oh. Okay, good. Screenplays were kind of obvious, although I have to say I was a little bit surprised about Sinners. I don't know, but I guess they just really did like it. But yeah, I don't know. Do we want to talk about screenplay? Great speech. Ryan is wonderful.
I like Bryan Cranston doing the intro. That was a good, solid introduction. That was the best one of the night.
What did everyone think of Alan Cummings hosting?
Oh yeah.
Well,
the beginning. Oh, I just had
I
to
know, the
skip
opening
through
monologue
that.
was
There
That
was
was horrendous.
there was many a
I've
painful.
not seen.
There was many painful. I wrote down here that Cumming wasn't great, but his outfits were incredible, and I think
Well,
that's
yes.
yeah. That was the
I
shining
think
glot. Yeah,
his opening monologue was shite, but there were a few funny little bits, like him wanting to take Paddington home, but it's not the first time he's taken home a South American bear.
Yes.
Solid. Handing out the British crisps and snacks to
That was
very
great.
confused
Yeah.
Americans was excellent. Saying to Rose Byrne, I've sated her needs. Over to you, Bobby, talking to Bobby
Oh, yes.
Cannavale.
That was good.
Excellent. So basically, any time that he was slightly a bit more off the cuff or a bit less planned and monologue-y, I think he was a lot better. And the Paul Mescal bit, I thought,
yes,
was,
that's the bit I was going to
very
say.
good.
Oh, what? So I saw that. What was that actually supposed to be like a fuck up, or was
I
it?
don't know. I
or-
don't know
because I still don't know.
He was on his phone.
Yeah, I know.
He's not that good.
Was
He's not that good an actor. He was definitely on his phone. That was
Definitely looked like a muff joke, I guess.
Yeah.
Gone wrong.
I think with Cumming.
Okay, so it wasn't part of the bit. Okay.
I think with Cumming as well, whoever writ the monologues, I hope it wasn't him, because if it was, his improv's better than his writing. But like, it kind of felt like when like the UK will do SNL, we don't have the writers to do a funny intro monologue, really, and kind of the only person you'd call upon for that is Ricky Gervais, and they are never letting him host
no.
the podcast. They are never letting Golden
Well,
Globes.
they should.
They should. This year would have been the worst time to have Ricky Gervais host.
Can you
anything.
imagine?
Yes, I
With-
can. That's
With William and Kate
Yes,
there.
I can.
Oh my god.
yeah.
I do find it quite sad though that we're turning to like actors presenting, because we had like Richard E. Grant a few years ago, I think.
We had David Tennant back-to-back years, and I love David Tennant. I really didn't like him as a host, which, you know...
With Grant, like he just looked really nervous and just really out of his comfort zone. Yeah, can we just have proper presenters, please?
Just
know
not
what they're doing.
No,
Who would do
Dermot
it?
O'Leary.
Who do we have? Graham Norton.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to say... Or even Ali Plum. I know he's not necessarily like
Oh,
a full-on
him.
presenter, but he's funny.
He does the red carpet though, doesn't he? No.
Yeah, I think like he should host our Oscars thing on ITV, but it's Jonathan Ross, and he is terrible at that job. But
What about Dick and Dom?
yeah,
you get that in for Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew's purposes.
yeah.
Well, we can't have Ant and Dec because they're ITV, aren't they? So, hang on, was this ITV? I don't know.
No, BBC.
No, it's
But yeah,
BBC.
so it'll have to be Dick and Dom, won't it?
Yeah, Dick and Dom, Brum. We could have Brum come on. That's a deep cut for the British people.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, it was a car based in Birmingham, and it was a kids show, and I grew up on it. I loved
I
it.
figured it's something to do with Birmingham when you said Brom. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The Skyline intro is miserable as you'd think it would be.
Well, it's Birmingham. Sorry,
Yeah.
Birmingham listeners.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
good
close
God.
enough to it to be like, yeah. I can
Yes,
confirm it's that
we're
bad.
ticking off all the things we're insulting here. This is great. Okay, anything else? No. Okay, great.
Favourite part of the night that wasn't to do with actual the films was Emma Thompson's little video that she did.
Yes.
Little selfie video in a kitchen with no makeup with Boris Johnson hair, as she puts it.
Yes.
Very
love
entertaining.
her.
She's a national treasure.
She's a
this-
national treasure. Yes,
After I
she is.
saw that bit, I was like, give her the hosting job. Like, she'd be actually
Yes.
naturally good and funny.
I don't know. Martin doesn't like actors doing it.
My
Martin, would this be all right with you?
Possibly, yeah. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So we've got all that. Okay, British film Hamlet, obviously, blah 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 blah. That was obvious. Makeup award, lovely. Can anybody answer the question of why there's a difference between family film and animated film? Is it just so we can award two things?
Animated film doesn't have to be for children, does it? Come on.
Oh yes, that yeah. One of them has to be family friendly, and okay, good. So we can
Yeah,
have
so
with-
Zootropolis could be dropping F bombs, and then it wouldn't be getting the family
and,
friendly one, but
of
it could
course
still
not,
win
but it
best
could
animation.
win. Absolutely, okay, good.
I'm
All
pretty
right, lovely.
shocked that K-pop Demon Hunters didn't get nominated?
Me and
It
Heather
wasn't
touched on this.
eligible.
Yeah,
It wasn't eligible. Education here,
okay.
yes, because it did not have a theatrical run, a qualifying run in the UK, because it just, I presume, just went straight to
and
Netflix.
not only that, as me and Heather discussed, that there could have been more ones nominated. We just chose not to.
Yeah, they could have filled their five slots.
We just
but
went.
it was just like,
Everything else was shit. So no, we all have what you get, and that's that.
I did notice that, and I like the fact that we just make it up as we go along. It's like, it's going to be 10
Yes.
for this award, 5, 3, 6.
Yeah.
who
So
knows? Let's pick a number. Pick a number. What do we feel like this year?
Random numbers.
And what I liked was the fact that Arco was in Best Family Film, but apparently the animation is shit because it wasn't it didn't get nominated in animation. So it is an animated film, but it's rubbish actually. But it's good for children. Yay! So
Top
we'll
down
put it
to
in.
3,
We'll
Heather.
put
They
it in
couldn't
there.
go any higher. 3's the limit.
Yeah, come on,
just
Happy Thought we
speaking-
could have given them more money.
Just speaking with animation, just generally, I feel like the quality of animation isn't amazing at the moment. Like Pixar, like Ilya, it feels like Pixar always has like an obligatory nomination, but the quality of their films in recent years have really been quite poor. I mean, it's just kind of evident as well, the fact that they've got Toy Story 5 coming out this year, I think, as well, and it's just... But I do like the fact that we have this kind of new style of animation, like, you know, K-pop Demon Hunters, even though it wasn't eligible, that sort of very pop arty, comic booky type style. But yeah, I think generally, like, the quality just isn't really there, which is a real shame.
I totally agree, and I think it says a lot when the biggest smash hit animated thing wasn't Disney, it wasn't Pixar, it was a thing that fell into Netflix's lap that they had no idea what they had. And I think that says a lot. It's like when Flow won the best animated as well. That come out of nowhere. That nobody would have known what the hell that was, and then it won, and you know, and I feel like a lot of the best animated stuff we don't actually know because it's buried somewhere.
Wasn't Flow just made on the guy's computer?
Yes, yeah.
In Latvia.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Amazing.
I haven't seen it. Yeah. I just watched it. I don't know. I feel terrible, but it's just, there's so many other things to watch and I just don't watch animation. And then when I watch it, I do tend to enjoy it, but I've been told K-pop is actually really good. And I just,
It is pretty good.
kids like it.
It is good.
Yeah.
Flow's worth your time,
Flow is
Heather.
definitely-
We go back and watch that.
okay. I think it's on a platform somewhere that I have access to. But yeah, I do feel bad. But as part of my, which I keep plugging, my 52-week movie challenge, there is animation in there as one of the categories, and there's also stop motion. So it's covered a couple of times. So yes, and I'm trying to do everything as a new to me watch for that challenge. So any recommendations, send them my way. Okay, right. Just a couple of other things from the BAFTAs and then we'll probably wrap. I think there's a couple of other categories just wanted to quickly, just because I think they were a little bit up in the air, but I think we're gradually getting to a point thanks to BAFTA. And I know it's not always the best predictor, but when you start adding things up, and that is cinematography and editing. So F1, everybody's favourite film, was winning a lot of, okay, sound it's got, that's fine. My brother had that in the draft, he's happy, he gets his points. He didn't draft Sinners or One Battle After Another, but sucks to be him, but hey, he's got F1 and sound. So so F1's got that, but it was winning some editing awards. But, so it's like, everybody thought, well, could it be one of these fast cars go vroom, similar to Ford versus Ferrari, that it might also win editing? But BAFTA was like, nope, we're giving it to One Battle After Another. And I kind of see that repeating at Oscar now, quite frankly. I don't think that's good. I think they're just going to be down the board, like down the ballot, One Battle. Anybody think differently there, or is BAFTA help to kind of firm that up a bit?
It's almost justified for the car chase.
I
sort of
agree.
scene
No,
alone, absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I do wonder if, and I think F1 is really good cinematography and editing. I do wonder if the BAFTAs are just trying to be a little too highbrow for that sort of thing.
Don't want to give it to the fast car film.
Well, yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how that does Oscar. But yeah, you can't argue with One Battle, I don't think.
No. And the same with cinematography. I think a lot of people were hoping it would be Sinners, especially because that gives the chance to award not only the first female, but then the first black female cinematographer. But then there was also, from what I kind of was reading, a lot of the DPs were saying, well, actually, the Sinners cinematography bothers me a little bit because there's bits that are just too dark. It's just not the best work. But of course, because you focus on that one particular scene in the bar, and it was like, oh, that's so amazing. But for that, she deserves it. Yeah, okay. But then there's parts that aren't so well lit. But then they were saying, well, where cinematography could go to Train Dreams, which is the best part of what I found an extremely dull film. But the cinematography is beautiful. Lovely trees.
Come on, Simon, fight back. Come on.
Just the disdain you're treating Train Dreams is outrageous.
I adore Train Dreams, and I'm having it said now. So I'm yes.
Yeah,
I will not. Yes,
I love a tree.
Love a tree. Good tree. Yeah.
Now, the cinematography is awesome in that film, though. That you've got
no, it really is. Like, no, I mean, there's a little bit of shade to Train Dreams, but the cinematography is absolutely 100% the best thing about it. But do we just think they're just going to go one battle like they did at BAFTA?
Which would be fair enough, I think.
Which is fine, because that scene.
I wrote
makes
makes sense when that got announced. I just wrote makes sense. Like it's completely down the middle, as expected, not surprised.
But sometimes they do these like weird things, not just BAFTA but like Oscar as well. Like the win for sound for Zone of Interest, which I think people were like, well, it should win because the whole point of that film is the sound. Like that's what makes that film what it is, because you can hear these horrible sounds from next door. Yeah. So the fact that the Oscars did. I think BAFTA did as well, but okay, Zone of Interest was a British film, remember? So they do sometimes award these like outliers where it's their one award, but it's or maybe two awards, but they go against the trend of just saying, right, we're voting the obvious Best Picture winner down ballot. So Oppenheimer got it 7, but I think it was predicted to actually win 8 because everybody thought, oh, they're just going to go with Oppenheimer for sound because woo, boom, bombs and stuff. And they didn't. So you never know. But I think with BAFTA going both of those for one battle, it might just repeat. So that might have clarified those two categories up a little bit, maybe. I mean, deserved.
On my predictions, I said for cinematography, Sinners, but it was like 1A, 1B, and one battle after another was the 1B. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much how it'll carry on now till the Oscars, and rightfully so. I mean, that car chase scene alone, and if you've seen how they shot that, the behind the scenes, Jesus Christ, it's kind of the work that went into that alone should warrant the win.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong, is it? So, okay. Cool. Right. Anything else from the winners, nominees, the ceremony want to touch on?
The Best Adapted Screenplay is a weird one. Because I would have really loved to have seen Ballad of Wallace Island get some sort of recognition. Which probably my favourite film. Yeah,
I
my
love
favourite
that
film
film.
of last year.
Loved it.
It's interesting that it's in Best Adapted Screenplay because they're adapting from their own work. It starts out as a short.
It's the same with sequels and stuff like that, though. Where it's just, even though it's original, it's not original.
Yeah, it's just a technicality, isn't it? Which is frustrating. But yeah, I absolutely adored Wallace Island. I thought it was fantastic. I don't think I laughed so hard at a movie last year and literally cried as hard as at the same film. Just incredible performances, and also for a film that's about musicians, you're always a little bit worried, like, okay, is the music itself going to be any good? And it is. It's really good as well. So yeah, love that film.
Okay.
One thing that was a bit of a shock, well, not shock, but I was kind of gutted. I really wanted Pillion to pick up the outstanding British debut by a writer, actor, director, producer. I don't know the film that won it. I haven't seen it. I'll have to, but I would have liked to see Pillion get a little award because it's a hilariously insane film to describe to somebody who doesn't know what it is, but it is a great film if you do manage to check it out.
That is out here shortly. Yes, because we get everything late.
You should watch it. And
I will.
It is something. It really is something.
I think who was it you said they did a double header with Wuthering Heights and Pillion, and I was like, well, okay, there's one that is more romantic and there's more sexual tension to it, and it's not Wuthering Heights. So yeah, no, that comes out, and I've got that like penciled. I need to go and see that. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Anything else from anybody in the awards? Nope. Good. Anybody do predictions? I know Morgan, you did. Anybody else?
Not properly. I just kind of went through a few, and I hit on film, British film, animated film, original screenplay, and actress. But apart from that, not so much. What did you actually do, Morgan?
I went 50%. I didn't do documentaries because I've not seen them or the shorts. But of the 22 that I predicted, I got 11. And
it's a pass.
Yeah, it's a pass. Robert Aramayo winning the EE Rising one, I did kind of see coming. Mainly again because he's British. He's British. Will he end up having the best career? I mean, if Chase Infinity carries on how she started in Miles Caton, maybe not, because that's chasing a dragon. But of those three, I don't think you could have gone wrong with awarding any of them, to be honest. But 50%, I was pretty happy with that, considering I did it about 2 hours before the BAFTAs was on. So...
You did actually just mention briefly documentary. That is one thing where people were kind of surprised. I don't know if I was, though, because Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and they were like, well, The Perfect Neighbour. Yeah, everybody's seen The Perfect Neighbour because it was Netflix, but it's very American. So...
I'd only seen those two from the list, and whilst the Putin one was good, it was a revealing look at it. It didn't blow me away. It wasn't particularly. It wasn't like move. It didn't move me as much as say like The Perfect Neighbor did, which I made some horrendous noises watching that movie. Like it was animalistic.
That film! Oh my god! That I hope it wins. I hope Perfect Neighbor wins. The Oscar. As I say, I'm not overly surprised, just simply because. It's like, I don't know, it is very American, but still, I mean, it's still a heart-wrenching, awful story. And I think that touches everybody, even if we might not have, similar laws or situations arising, here in Europe. I think everybody can relate to, the scenes with the kids when the kids get told, geez. Anyway.
No spoilers, Heather.
I didn't say what they get told. Also, plus, true story. So, could go and look it up.
They get told a future world where Timothée Chalamet wins the best actor.
There we go. That's it. And they all cry and they break down. No, that's just certain people here on this podcast. Yeah. Oh dear me. Here we go again. All the social snippets here, everyone. What we got here? Film not in an English language, sentimental value, no surprise. Okay, I'm just making sure if there's anything that was surprising that we haven't touched on. No. Okay, Morgan, you did 50% in your predictions. We all have to do predictions for Simon and Carl for the Oscars.
We'll send the
link. Official. Wonderful. Good. Okay, I think. Pretty much done. I think. Anybody want anything else to say? Other than that, I will just thank you again for coming on. And Riverside being a bit of a mess today. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Andrew can do some editing.
He can do the high editing mainly because we've given him such good quality clips to get
good content
so much engagement.
Exactly. So thank you very much again for coming on, and then just for you all to say where everybody can find you, plug your podcast, what you've got coming up. I will start as I look at it with Martin. Martin, where can people find you and what have you got coming up?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to be on the podcast. It was, a lot of fun. I'm the host of the Film vs. Film podcast, where we have a look at cinema releases, streaming releases, pick that film and a subject from that film, and I pick a film from that subject. I get a guest on. They pick a film from that subject. We talk about directing, screenplay, and acting. We score it, see who wins. It's a lot of fun. I do spoiler specials as well, and a new segment podcast series, My Film versus My Inspiration. That's with guests with new filmmakers talking about their new films and the films that inspired it. And you can find me on all the socials. Thank you very much.
Morgan?
You can find me, my personal stuff on all the socials at Lone Wolf Mojo. You can go and check out the podcast on my YouTube channel, The Hall of Film. I've got more podcasts prepared. Heather will be coming on, I'm sure, in the future again, because we are doing a Christopher Nolan special in time for the Odyssey, which is going to be a long podcast. Not as long as the day that Heather comes on to talk about Ray Fiennes. And
I don't know.
No. And I have a lot more video ideas as well, where I'll probably start doing some rankings and going through, maybe even talking James Bond news and all stuff like that, and just kind of expanding on everything I do.
Okay. Simon and Carl, what have you got coming up and where can people find you?
Take it away, Si.
All right. Well, you can catch us wherever you do find podcasts. We release 4 episodes a month, and upcoming in March, we have King Kong, which one of us likes, one of us doesn't. We've got our Mashflix and Chill episode with Brit from 1001 by 1. And we are running our now annual, because we did it last year, Oscars predictions game, which this year we're opening up to our pod friends and the general public. So look out on our socials at MTM Movie Pod for the link for that. And give us a listen. We've got 100 or so episodes in the back catalogue, so check them out. Or don't, no pressure.
We probably should name the podcast as well, because I don't think I did when I introduced us, and you didn't.
Move the needle.
There we go.
Move the needle.
Oh, there we go.
Moving the needle, which is so funny because I work with someone and her favourite phrase at work is like the absolute, standard
Move the needle.
And I think of you guys every time. So there you go. Makes work more fun every time I hear that phrase. So thank you again for coming on over here. We are really busy. I just recorded the monthly recap with Andrew, which will be out on the 1st of March. We've got a Ryan Gosling and Christian Bale Mount Rushmore's coming up, which is, I haven't seen many Ryan Gosling films, but I have seen pretty much all of Christian Bale's back catalogue, so I feel better to talk about that. But we're doing that, Andrew and Amanda and I. What else have we got? Amanda and I are doing a Oscars predictions little show as well. Amanda's really into her data and analysing it all, and she's going to be bringing that, and I'm going to be bringing vibes. So we'll see who ends up being... getting the better results. We've got some more Oscar stuff. I think Andrew's got some interviews coming with some Oscar nominees. There's some out there already. The monthly Almanac episodes. So loads and loads of stuff. And I am also pimping myself out to talk to anybody who wants to talk to me about Wuthering Heights, because I have thoughts. There we go. So thank you. And we'll check us all out in the socials, and thank you again, guys, for joining me. And
thanks, Heather.
See you around.
Cheers,
Bye.
Heather.
Bye bye.
Cheers, Heather.